When you were a kid, what did you say you wanted to be when you grew up? A footballer, astronaut, singer, doctor? Whatever it was, I'll bet you never, ever said you wanted to be busy. And yet today, busyness seems to be what most people are striving for. They want to be seen to be busy because they think it makes them important. But busyness just hurts. And what's more, busyness is an illusion. And I'm going to show you some slides in a minute that prove that show you why it's not something that you should be chasing after. My name's Damien, and these are my videos about how I'm redesigning my life. How I'm going from the life I was living to the life I always wanted to live. I'm hoping that through these videos you can learn a little bit more about how to see the world differently, to connect with it, to be present, and to change and redesign your life too. So let's have a look at these slides. As I said before, busyness is an illusion. It doesn't actually exist, not in the way that we have come to think of it. One of the interesting things I've noticed, and this is getting back to English classes from school, is that busyness is an adjective. It's used to describe something as having a lot on. That ant is busy. That person running around from left and right is busy. And yet somewhere along the way, it's switched over into being a noun, a feeling. In much the same way as kindness or love, that person is busy, as though it's an encapsulating end-all statement that we're supposed to understand. But it can't be like that. You can't be busy in the same way that you can be kind. It's an illusion. And I often use this picture to illustrate this fact. This is painted by the Australian painter Arthur Streeton, and he was a master at capturing light. But of course you can't paint light. You can only paint the impression of light, the illusion of light, because his paintings seem to glow as though they're illuminated by an internal light source. But when you get up close to them, you notice that this effect is achieved just through a change in pigment. Again, he's creating the effect of light. And in much the same way that busyness has become perceived to be what we're aspiring to, it's an illusion. We have come to equate busyness with value, busyness with worth. You see a busy restaurant, you assume it must be good. You see someone on social media sharing all of the tasks that they're doing, all of the things that they do in their day. You see the success that they are having in their life, and you assume that that success has come from the busyness. We project busyness out into the world because it has this social currency, because it has this value. But that's wrong. That restaurant you're seeing is not successful because it's busy. It's busy because it's successful. And in much the same way, that person that you admire who has achieved great things or created great work, they haven't done that because they're busy. They may be busy because of that creation. We've got it the wrong way around. We see this output and believe that the output is what we need to be chasing after, we need to be following, when it's actually the work we need to be concentrating on. Being present, being connected, being in the moment so that we can create work, whatever that may take, whatever form that may take. If you're an accountant, if you're a doctor, if you're an artist, it doesn't really matter. The output is what matters. How you work towards creating that is what you need to be creating. That's what you need to be focusing on, not busyness. So why do we do this? Why do we idolize busyness in this way? Why is it the one thing that we want everyone to know that we are? Well, I believe the real reason people do this is connection. We live in a world where people are becoming disconnected from each other at an alarming rate. So we want to be seen to be like everyone else. We want to have some connection deep down, and this is kind of sad when you think about it. Instead of finding real connections, we're making the disconnection even worse by doing more work, piling more things into our already busy schedules. We need to cut back. We need to give ourselves more space so that we have the space for those connections to happen. Because at the end of the day, we want to be seen to be busy like everyone else so that we can feel connected to them, because that's really the only way. We're doing the same things as them, or we think we're doing the same things as them. Therefore, we must be connected in some strange way. But just saying that, it sounds silly, and I know that when you think about it, you realize that this is not a way to live. You need to do less, to strip back. As I've said before, our brains are wired to add. We like to cram in as much as we can until the point comes when we're mentally full. So if you're actively chasing this busy lifestyle, you will quickly fill up your mental bank. You'll have no room left for connection, the one thing that you may be desiring above all else. So try and do less. Pull back. Give yourself that space so that real connections, real presence can come into your life. And then you'll start to feel full. And that's a sense of achievement that will give you a great buzz. It will give you a great sense of worth. That's something that's worth being proud of, not being busy for busy's sake. As I said before, it just doesn't exist, and it can hurt you. It leads to burnout, it leads to anxiety, it leads to a lack of focus. So step back, do less. Acknowledge that the busyness that you're looking for, the busyness that you think you're going after, is an illusion. If you're going to work hard, that's fine. If you're going to do a lot of work, that's fine. If you're going to be busy in the adjective sense, that's great. But make sure there's an output at the end, and that busyness itself isn't the goal. I'll come back to this time and time again during a lot of my videos. At the end of the day, it's about presence. You need to create this space to give yourself presence. The lack of presence is one of the most serious problems facing today's society. And acknowledging this in myself and finding presence and finding moments where I can hack my brain to become more present has been key in helping me redesign my life. It's hard. The world we live in is designed to fight against this. But if you keep working, if you keep believing, if you keep taking the time to slow down, you'll find that space, and then you will find those moments that matter. And you won't just live your life surrounded by moments, you'll be in them. I promise. I hope this video has been helpful. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.